Well, happy 2020, everybody. For the past couple of weeks, I've been compiling decades worth of data about the Spokane real estate market. And some of you might be surprised or even shocked by the conclusions I've got. Hi, this is Dennis Isip from Haven Real Estate. So we're gonna just get right onto it. Our first graph is about median prices. So as you might already know, home prices have been rising steadily here in Spokane. So we've got data as far back as the year 2000 all the way to 2019. So that's 2 decades worth of information. So back then in 2000, the median price of a home was $109,000 and $500. But let's discuss first what median prices mean. Back in 2000, there were 5,500 homes that were sold. And if you're going to sort that by home prices from highest to lowest, $109,500 is exactly in the middle of all the buyers. Meaning half of them paid less than $109,500 and the other half paid more than $109,500. It's not the average, but that's what you call median. The average is not a good measure because if there was a $3 million home that was sold at that time at the high end and let's say $50,000 at the low end, then the numbers are going to get skewed. So median prices are actually what's used in the industry from a statistical standpoint. It is more representative of the housing prices. So going back to our chart, the prices raised steadily to $134,000 in 2004, and then it peaked at $195,513 in 2007. And then from there, it slowly declined down to a little over $160,000 in 2011, and that was the lowest point at that time. And since then, it has been steadily increasing. 178 in 2014, very slowly, and then it picked up its pace up until 2017, where it broke the previous record. So the median now is at 220,000, and since then it has increased rapidly for the past 2 years to a little over 270,000 as of last year. Okay, so now we're going to move on to a different chart of the actual number of homes that were sold. So bear in mind, all the data that I have does not include manufactured homes as well as raw land, and we excluded that because they're not significant in the big picture. In this new chart, the blue line is actually the same median prices that we just discussed, and so I've added the actual number of homes that were sold, represented by these red columns. In 2000, that's when the increase in number of homes sold started, until it peaked in 2005 at 9,720 homes. Notice that even as the number of homes were sold had already peaked at that time, the median prices continued to rise at least for the next 2 years. So as you can see, it wasn't until 2007, 2 years later, that the median prices had peaked. Meanwhile, the actual number of homes have actually been decreasing since then. It wasn't until 2008, as you notice, there is a dramatic drop in the number of homes sold, and that was the only time where the median prices had now adjusted downward slightly. So both number of homes sold as well as median prices continued to drop, and they reached the lowest point at the same time in 2011. And ever since then, both homes sold and median prices have been steadily increasing, even though it may be at different rates. And so based on this chart, it appears that the peak number of homes sold had reached in 2018, because believe it or not, in 2019 is the first drop in number of houses sold. As a matter of fact, 2019 sales are less than 2017 sales. So what does that mean? Is that potentially a sign of the times? Is this a signal that the market is now turning? I don't know yet, but based on the previous pattern in 2005, 2007, as I mentioned, there's a lag between the appreciation of the home and the number of homes sold. So as a consumer, what does that mean for you? Well, between the last peak in 2005 and the valley in 2011, that's a period of about 6 years. If we had indeed reached our peak 2 years ago in 2018, are we now on a downward trend? But regardless of whether you are a buyer or a seller, you might want to make your move right now. Doesn't matter whether you're moving into or out of Spokane, make your move right now and settle down in the next 5 to 6 years. Said in another way, if you are comfortable where you are living right now and you can stay there for another 5 to 6 years, then don't do anything. Let's just wait until the next cycle comes along. But if you have to move out, let's say in the next 3 years for whatever reason, think about how you might be able to make the move today in anticipation of what you have to do in 3 years' time. So let's say, for example, you're living in California or Seattle or even Portland. You are wanting to retire here in Spokane. Consider selling where you are right now, because it's possible that you might have reached your peak over where you are, so that you can sell at the highest prices available. And then be ready to buy here in Spokane within the next 2 to 3 years, as the median prices of the homes might be on a downward trend. Again, we don't know yet. So in general, as a rule of thumb, the Spokane market actually lags behind the rest of the country. In other words, if your market is either going down or going up, the Spokane market is about 6 to 18 months right behind your trend. So is this downturn just a pause, or is it a sign of things to come? Well, here's what I'm going to do for the rest of 2020. I'm going to follow very closely the trends in terms of median prices and home sales and report that on a monthly basis to you. So what you want to do is subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell as well. So every time I publish a new video, you're going to be informed right away. So that's it for today's video. Upcoming in my next one, we're going to look at the top 10 neighborhoods that are growing in Spokane. All right, over and out.